Let's get this thing kicked off here. Let me see if I can get all this stuff going. I don't know who's out there with us yet, but everybody, if you're here, hi and hello. Thanks for the hangout. Appreciate it. We should have fun. So let's do this. Hello. See who's watching now. All right, we'll get started here as we get going. I've got a couple screens going on here, so it's all good. It's just me. We're hanging out. Hey, Jay. Thanks for being here, bud. Appreciate you. All right. Hello, hello. Awesome. John is here. Good. Very cool. Hey, you guys. Much appreciated. A lot of exciting things going on and everything. I don't need these glasses until I start reading. Then I'm going to need them. But until that time, I can just welcome everybody. Appreciate you being here and things like that. So got more and more people checking in. I've got a screen over here that shows me that I am live, and if I don't pay much attention to it, I should be good to go. So, but that's where we can ask and answer any or you can ask me questions, and it'll come up on a screen, and I can see if I can address them for you in the best way that I possibly can. So. Listen, I am excited. There's just so much going on right now. Lots of activity. The road show that Nadeline and Jeff and Rob are on. I'm getting feedback from the team that are going to these things, and they are absolutely, off the wall excited about what the game looks like, what the messaging is, why everybody or what everybody's doing, why everybody's so excited and things like that. So it's just really cool. And it's sort of funny because all those things that people are coming back to me with, and they're saying, oh man, I can't believe it does this, or I can't believe it does that, and this is what it does, and I'm so excited. It's so real to me now. And I sort of reminded them that, hey, last week when I came back from Salt Lake City, that's what I told you. And I said, you didn't believe me, or maybe you did, or you listened. But until you experience it yourself, you sort of, maybe it doesn't sink in. And I'm thinking that is what is happening to so many people across the country right now, is that they are getting a chance to see the app, live, in person, and it's sinking in. It's starting to say, holy cow, that's really cool. And what an exciting time that is, because, I think not only did that happen, certainly to me, but the other, 50 leaders that I was out in Salt Lake City with, it all happened to all of us all at the same time. And we were just buzzing about how cool it was to watch everybody play. Now what's happening is you've got people going to these events and seeing different things, seeing screenshots, understanding and hearing the messages from Nadeline and everybody. And they're coming away from those going, wow, that is, it's everything I thought it was going to be and more. The graphics look great because what they're doing on the road shows, if some of you have not been there, is they're doing some simulated gameplay, where they have a little bit of things going on. They can show the app, they can show it on the screen and stuff. And it's really neat. I mean, it captures your imagination when you see it. So that's exciting for that. But the real excitement factor is, wait till this gets in the hands of people that just want to play, and how cool it's going to be for them. And when they share with other people who have more people involved, it's just going to be fun. And you know what happens when, fun and interactivity, intrigue and sharing and just, that kind of deal happens, then, incredible things happen, like Pokemon and like, Facebook and all the other big names and stuff. So it's going to be really exciting next week. I'm so excited, fired up. And I've got a lot of information. If you did not make it to any of the events that are out there across the country right now, I have a mixture of information that I gathered last week, okay, when I was out in Salt Lake, and they gave us all kinds of information. I shared a little bit with you, but quite honestly, I was a little apprehensive to share much of the specifics because they asked us not to. They wanted to share it this week. And now that I know Madeline has it out there and that she's talked about it, and I'm not stealing anyone's thunder around different things, it's already public knowledge now, because we were asked as leaders not to share it, so we didn't. A lot of it's out now, and there's still more to come this week. You can see just an information overload that's happening for all of us and stuff. But a lot of the stuff I got, and I'll go through it with you, and we'll cover some of those, click off the list items and things. So let me go back to this real quick. And let's see, there we go. It's not showing in my comment after the children's sermon, laugh out loud. Yeah, okay, good. Hi, everybody. You can just continue to go ahead and put some on the right-hand side of your screen. I believe you can just sort of type in any questions or anything like that. I'll do this over here so we've got them. Hey, Lisa and John, appreciate you. Good. So cool. Anyway, we'll get to that in just a second. Let me, for the purpose of going through a Hangout here, I've got some things and items I want to cover with you so that we have it. And whether there's, we got quite a few people watching now, so it's great. But we'll have, we get lots and lots of replays and things like that. So this will be great, and this will be available to everybody as we go. And I'll keep it up for the next couple of days. Actually, our next event, our next Hangout may actually be Friday night. I think I'm going to take the group that went to either Nashville I think they're actually in Lexington tonight. Mike Swain and his wife Lee are doing the deal with some leaders down there. And I said, hey, let's get together again. I can't tomorrow night. I'm busy tomorrow night, but maybe Friday night we can get together and we can just hang out and chat about what they felt when they heard all the information in Nashville. And you can get it from somebody else's perspective, not just mine. Okay. So I think that might work. Okay. So anyway, so we can go from there. Okay. The first thing first, I want to cover something with you real quick. That's just basic before I go into some of the key points. Let me give you a little bit of a structure here. I want to talk to you about something that I think is really critical in your mindset right now. All of us, as we go into the launch of this thing, and as we get into as we move into this next phase of undertaking and development and excitement and all that stuff, I want to make sure I talk about that. Then I've got a list of things that Madeline has talked about at the events that I want to go through. And then I've got a couple of ideas that I'm going to go put into place tomorrow and Friday. And then Friday night, I can give you a report in the idea of brainstorming. Now that we're promoters, how do we go out there and promote this? And I got a couple of ideas that I've lined up. I'm going to go see how they work, because I'm like everybody else here. I'm just trying to figure out how to get my code in as many people's hands as possible. And I know that we've got some real creative people out there, but there was something that I noticed that I want to share with you from a brainstorm perspective. But I think it's better to go through these other things first, and then we'll go into that. And certainly I will ask or try to get to any of the questions on the screen and stuff like that too. Okay. So first things first, here's the deal, you guys. We are entering into this thing, and listen, I get it. There are people's thoughts and ideas and everything, concepts all over the map on this game, on United Games, on the app, how big it's going to be, all this other stuff. And for some people, just let's do it this way. For some people, this is just going to be a fun game. Okay. And that's awesome. And for a lot of people, it's just going to be a fun game because they're just going to be players. But I'm talking about specifically the people that are engaged with us in United Games right now. And maybe some of you are watching this. Maybe you've been engaged, maybe you haven't. I do know this. There will be some people in United Games that say, hey, this is a pretty cool idea. This looks like a really neat little app, and I hope that it works out great and that you guys are going to be able to do whatever it is. And hey, if I can make a couple of bucks, if I make more than my $10 a month, then, that'd be good. If I can make a couple $100 a month, that would be fine and things. And that's about how big they're going to see it. Others will take it a little bit more seriously, and they've put their energy into it, their effort, and they certainly want more than $10 a month, right? Now, if it covers that takes out the headache and provides a positive cash flow to a business. But they've taken it a little bit more seriously than that, and they're getting after it, on a part-time basis to whatever they can. And that's great. That's awesome. Then there will be a group of us that I'm going to speak to right now and encourage and invite every single person that is in the other categories to join us that is in United Games, okay? Because I want you to understand, I want you to think about it in a certain way. Gang, this is a business. You own it. You operate it. You call the shots. If you want to have a $1 million business, a multi-million dollar business, in my opinion, you have the makings of it in your hands with United Games and FireFan. Now, you have literally a you guys have heard me say this. I think this is and again, this comes from 26 years worth of experience in this industry. But I believe, compared to everything else that I've seen and understanding the way that I see it anyway, from my perspective and the way that I'm thinking, is that this is a multi-million dollar business if you want it to be. It is as big as anything you could ever start. You could go spend $1 million for a franchise. You could go open this store or that store. You could go do whatever it is you want to, okay, in a business perspective. And I don't believe you will have anything greater from a potential standpoint than what it is you have with United Games. I believe there will be people in United Games, okay, who make 6 and 7 figures a month worth of income from their United Games business. I just fully believe that. And that's not, listen, I got to tell you something. I love to be able to talk this way because there is no enticement for anybody because you're already in. We can't get anybody new in. No one new can come in and join us based on somebody saying, oh, this is some get rich quick scheme or some guy's talking about making a lot of money. No, it's just us. And here's the reality. This is a business model that allows you to have a multi-million dollar revenue stream at your disposal if you want it. Okay. Now understand something. Along with that opportunity comes responsibility. And I don't believe any of us have done what we need to do so far to reach the fullest potential that we have. Now, I look at my group, my team, my organization, and it's been exciting. I'm very blessed. I'm very excited. I've never seen anything happen that fast in 6 months. That in my 26 years worth of doing anything like this, tens of thousands of people are on the team, and it's incredible. I believe I'll have all kinds of great success stories from you, okay, and with you. But I don't believe, even myself, I don't believe that I have done enough right now in the first 6 months that would sit there and say, hey, listen, you can just kick back now. You can just kick back. Just relax. Just go on. Why? Because no multi-million dollar business would allow you to do that in the first 6 months. Now, that may disappoint some of you, right? That you're like, oh, man, I thought I was done and I only had to work 30 days. Well, guess what? Real life doesn't work that way. We have an opportunity here to make this as big as you want to, but it is not going to be automatic. It is not done by any stretch of the imagination. And the one thing that you have to do is you have to treat it like a business. You have to treat this just like the multi-million dollar business that it is, okay? That it's becoming. And you have to put the energy and you got to put the effort and you got to water the ground. You got to, fertilize the soil. You got to go and get this thing done. Every day we're out there trying to do something more, building your empire every day. Even if it's a couple hours a day, I get it. I'm not asking anybody to quit anything that they're doing or anything like that. But you've got to continue to put time and effort and energy into it because you would normally do that if you had any other traditional business that just got started, whether it was 6 days ago or 6 months ago. Okay. So the opportunity that is here is available for everybody, and it is a monster. It's as big, I'm telling you, it's as big as you and I want to make it, but we've got to go and put the energy into it. And I'm just encouraging everybody to treat it that big, to treat it like a business and go out there and put. I've just was on the phone to one of my leaders here this afternoon or this evening. And I said, hey, over the next 90 days, I am going to take and put in as much effort as I did in building an organization. I'm going to put as much effort into going out and building my player base as I did going and building my organization of people who wanted to get started. And so I'm going to just focus in on seeing how many times I can go and put my code in the hands of new people and see if that can't come to something. And I'm going to take personal responsibility to try to get that done. I know I've encouraged everybody to say, hey, one a day to play, let's go. You'll show it in your paychecks. That's what it's going to take. that's what it's going to be all about. And then once you get that down, once you get that, that routine down, if you have the ability to expand that effort, then I would encourage you to do that. I know I'm going to. I've got a couple of ideas here that I'll share at the end that I'm going to see how they play out over the next couple of days, because we've got a chance to be able to do something that I don't think we'll ever have a chance to do. And I'm not going to look back at this thing and say, man, I wish I would have given it a bigger effort. I wish I would have tried harder. I wish I would have done this. I wish I went to sat back and said, man, how come it didn't happen as fast as I wanted to? I'm not going to take any of those chances. Right? I believe there's going to be some incredible things that happen to us next week. And some of us are going to be like, holy cow, that is nuts. All right. But there's also always more to do. There's always more to do. And there's always going to be, the opportunity for everybody to separate yourself from everybody else. Listen, you guys, the difference in massive success and some pretty good success is usually only about that much effort. It's just that much extra effort. Just that little bit of extra. So we've talked about it. We talked about the power of one. We talked about all those things. I just want to encourage you to go and do something here. Make it bigger than anything that you've ever done before by giving it more than you've ever given anything else before. And right now we only have one singular focus, and that's how many players can you get? How many people can you get your code in front of? Right? And we're going to talk about it, not with regards to social media and things like that. But I mean, how many people can you go and ask in a personal relationship, in a personal situation? Hey, did you get the app? Did you get the app? Did you get the app? You're a promoter. And it's like, well, I don't know that I can go do that one at a time. Well, then let's figure out how to do it more than that. Let's go figure out how we can get your code in front of new people. That's what it's going to be all about. I love that. And the opportunity that comes from that is unlimited and enormous as we go into the future. So listen, we're all in for the most part. I get it. Those of you who show up and watch this and are a part of the viewer group that is watching tonight, or that watches it on a replay, you already have taken the strides needed and so forth and so on. And so I guess I don't need to pump you up anymore. I just want to make sure, and I promised myself I wouldn't go longer than 15 minutes on this first part, but I could go an hour, I'm telling you, because there's so many things that you will talk yourself out of doing this as great as you can do this, and you shouldn't, because there's nothing that you will ever see ever again, in my opinion, in your business lifetime that is better positioned for you to take advantage of something that is so unique, so advantageous, so new. You've got the new factor. You've got the wow factor. You've got the ability to offer somebody something that they don't have to buy. It's free. They just download it. You're not asking somebody to buy $50 or $100 worth of this product or that product. Right? It's, would you try an app and play a game and have some fun? You must like sports or know others who do. It's that simple. And you do it again and again and again. You stack success on that. And the company behind it has positioned a commissioning structure that will pay you and me enormously as we go, because the multiplier, the main multiplier in this, doesn't share the revenue. Their players get other players who get other players. You get 10% of the tokens that are acquired, and they don't get in the way. My goodness. Right? Anyway, I've had enough. I've hit my 15-minute mark of telling you why I think you should get after this thing. And I did tell some friends, though. I think I sent this out in an email. I did tell some friends over the weekend. I said, listen, it's not going to happen overnight. I get it. And maybe we have some unbelievable success. We won't launch without problems. Trust me, I'm going to go through that on the list. But I said, just do me a favor. Because I was sort of painting them the picture that in my mind I have, and I'm convinced of it. I don't care what anybody else really says. I am absolutely convinced of it. Okay. That's how big this is going to be. And I'm going to take fullest advantage of it, because that's what successful people do. You just do it. Okay. And I said, listen, do me a favor, just revisit me in 24 to 36 months. Just come back in 2 to 3 years. And again, it may happen faster than that. Okay. But a fair, 24 months worth of effort going up. I look at what we've done in the first 6 months, been pretty good. But we've also had a pretty limiting group. We didn't have an app. We don't have anything to really be able to show. So now as we go into the next, 12, 18, 24 months, come back and see me. And then let's compare notes. I'll be honest with you. I'll show you my back office, see what's going on. And we'll just see if what it is that I believe is coming is coming. And until that time, I'm going to put in all effort, all energy, all everything as if it is a done deal. And I would just ask you maybe to think about doing the same thing. All right. So anyway, lots of excitement going on across the country. And here's why, because we got some specifics around what this thing is all about and how this goes. So I'm going to need my glasses. Yeah, because I can't see squat without them. But here's the deal. Let me walk you through these, and then I will follow it up with some letters. Email, I'll send this to you so that you have it. And then there'll also be a lot more coming in your home office, in your back office of United Games. So look in your locker room. There's a lot of information that is there, you guys. It's coming fast and furious. There was another one today. If you didn't notice, there was 2 yesterday. There'll be some more. There's a bunch more information pieces that are coming to us. But these are the things that are being announced on this road trip that also coincide with the same exact topics that they talked to us about in Salt Lake City when I was there personally. And so I will share them with you, and then go through my perspective on them, and at least what I heard as well, to be able to do this. So first one is going to be about the charges that will hit your card, the $29 or the $39 affiliate fee with the $9.99 a month. That will not be charged until December 1st. Okay, so there won't be anything in November being charged. It will be December 1st, okay, or shortly thereafter. I don't know if they'll stagger them out where some people will get charged on December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, or whatever. I don't know, but it's going to be wait until December 1st for all of those, which means that all of those people who said, oh, all they want to do is charge you, charge a bunch of people. They've got 1 million people or 250,000 people, and they want to charge them all so that they can have money and they can just take it without giving you an app. No, we're going to get the app next week. So we'll have it for, 10 days or whatever. See if you like it. See if it makes sense to you. See if you enjoy it as much as everybody else does. And then you can determine whether or not you want to pay the $30 or $40, okay, and the $10 a month to maintain your affiliate license. We've called it a license, for your affiliate position at that time, okay? So that's going to happen. So there's no charges until December 1st. The other thing that they're covering is we do not need to send in our tax information or anything like that yet. They will ask for it. And at that time, it will be an electronic fill-in information with your social security number, your address, those types of things, so that they, in fact, can pay us and have a record, at least here in the United States, that they can. In Canada, I think they ask for another identification piece or something. But that is mandatory for anybody as an independent affiliate or distributor of a company. So that tax information will be asked of us at some point in time in the future, just not now. It's not in the back office yet. When it is in your locker room, you'll be notified and you'll want to go back there and fill it all in, okay? Because that's the way you get paid. All right, now tokens. We know that tokens have come out with a value of 10 cents a piece. You will have the ability to pick up token subscriptions as well. Okay, now this is huge. This is really an exciting event. When they shared with us what was going on and how they were going to structure these subscription bases for people to be both affiliates and players to get their tokens, you could do let's say a $10 monthly token replenishment program, and you would get 100 tokens, okay, for that, because they are 10 cents a piece. So you get 100 tokens for $10, if that makes total math sense to you. It will. And one of the things that they're doing for all the affiliates, okay, is that any affiliate that grabs a subscription, a token subscription each month, they will cut in half the technology fee of $9.99 to $4.99. And so we get a chance to be able to take our $9.99 piece down to $4.99 if we have also a subscription package. Just for an example, the lowest subscription package is going to be $10 a month for 100 tokens. If you get that and you are also an affiliate, then you can add your $4.99 to that. So you are paid, you need to pay $14.99 a month, okay, to get your 100 tokens to be able to play and to be able to share. You can fully share those tokens. And commission-wise, they cannot pay a commission on the $4.99 or the technology fee, whether it's $9.99 or $4.99. That's illegal. You can't do that. What they can do, though, is they can reward the affiliates for purchasing a certain amount of product, in this case tokens, by reducing their technology fee, and then they can pay commissions based on those tokens that are purchased, right? I mean, just like anything else. The token amounts that they have to offer go all the way through. She's not getting into specifics on the roadshow, and she didn't really with us either. There will be token packages that are available at $10. There'll probably be another increment, maybe at $29 or $30 for 300 tokens, or $50 for 500, or $99.99 for 1,000 tokens. Right? There'll probably be those stair steps in there, and why in the world would you ever? My goodness, why would you ever want 1,000 tokens? Because I'm a professional and I have a multi-million-dollar business of introducing people to this app, and I want them to try the app. So I'm going to encourage and promote with free tokens. I will provide free tokens in some form, fashion, or another to everybody that signs up with me, because I want them to experience the game at its fullest. I very much enjoy investing in my own business. I do it now. I have for 26 years. I've bought sample products. I bought thousands of dollars. I got to believe this. I bought tens of thousands of dollars worth of sample products over the last 12 years. And it has turned into hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of commissions for me. So why wouldn't I invest in my business? And the only challenge is that here, like other companies and like other situations, we can only hold 1,000 tokens in our back office. So they won't let you get 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 tokens. They're not going to let you do that. They will only allow you to have 1,000 at a time in your back office. So if you're on a replenishment $99 deal for 1,000 tokens, you got to get rid of them. Otherwise, your next 1,000 aren't coming. Okay, so more details on that, but those are great ways, especially for those of us who are taking the business more seriously, how we're going to go out there and encourage and engage and involve new players into the system. And it is through, hey, give this a try. Let me send you some tokens. Join our game. Join our league. Come on in. Play with us tonight. Play with us tomorrow. Play with us. Let me throw you some tokens. Let you get the hang of it. If you like it, then you can buy your own. Right? Until that time, just, and if nothing else, hey, tell a few friends of yours. And let me see if I can help, let's get the fire going a little bit. That's why you do it in a promotional setting. That it just makes total sense to me. And I love the fact that they have it out there. It's great. We'll get more information as they come along too. So, okay. So advertisements. Advertising is interesting here. Advertising, I've told you guys in the past that the advertising piece to this, in my opinion, is the 800-pound gorilla in the room. It's really cool to be able to have the game and everything else that goes along with it. And it's going to be, a lot of fun, and people are going to be engaged and talking to one another and stuff like that. But the monster here, you guys, in my opinion, is the advertising platform that we create, unlike any other in any other arena. To collectively get together a group of people that are self-identified sports fans, who are probably one of the greatest demographics that advertisers want to get to, because they're outgoing, they're engaging, they don't have a problem spending $150 for a T-shirt or for a jersey. They don't have problems spending a couple $100 for, listen, not that all of us are wealthy or anything like that. Nobody, it's not like that. It's just that we find ways to find money to buy a $200 ticket to go to the game because we want to go to the game. Why? Because it's an experience. It's an event. It's something that our kids talk about for a really long time. Sports fans are the main target of so many advertising. Think about the Super Bowl commercials and things, right? So it's just ridiculous. So this is going to be a monster advertising play. However, there is a bit of a misunderstanding about our advertising model. Some people think that we're going to be playing the game, and then all of a sudden there'll be an ad pop up. One of those really annoying things that says, before you can go any further, you have to decide to do this. We're not going to do that. That's not how this works. Okay, how this works is that if you want to view an ad so that you can receive benefits, just go to the ad page and take a look at what's available. Once you go to the ad page inside the app, you will find the who's who of advertising. I mean, we were shown some screenshots, and I'm not going to be able to name them by name because I noticed she's not doing that here. But I don't really have to, because you can think of literally any company across the entire spectrum of anything that you've ever watched before. And they are in play here. They're in play here. It's a big deal. So at the beginning, we go to this thing. We get a chance to see different advertisers. Maybe we get a chance to watch an ad and get a token. Maybe we watch an ad and fill out a survey and we get a couple more tokens. Maybe we purchase this and be able to get some more tokens to be able to say thank you for the purchase or the referral or whatever it might be. Then we might be able to buy an item and get a certain percentage of that item back in tokens. It's going to be, listen, it's going to start wherever you think the lowest part is, and it's going to go all the way up to the top. It's going to be as big of an advertising juggernaut as you could possibly imagine when we get going. We are going to go out in our first flush here next week with a beta tag, okay, on our app. That means that we are coming out we're going to launch it, and it is in early beta format, which is not unlike many of the apps that come out, just to let everybody know that, hey, if there's an issue, hang tough. We're going to develop this. We're going to build it out. It's going to grow. It's going to get better. It's just a revision away. And it's really, that is the atmosphere. Okay, that's the okay atmosphere in all this. I think that Pokemon came out, and within its first, I think, 6 weeks, had 9 revisions. So it's not unlike a little bit of an adjustment. Okay, the iPhone 7, I think, that came out is still getting upgrades almost on a daily basis, right? Type of a thing, to be able to take care of this glitch or that glitch or whatever it might be. So we fully anticipate that. We come out with it, and the advertisers sort of fully anticipate it as well. So a lot of times what happens is the advertisers play this little cat and mouse game that says, listen, what we'll do is we'll do a little bit of this. We'll be on the sideline. Wait till you get through your little beta issues. Then what we'll do is we'll come in with full force. So in the beginning part, we might not see all of those great things that are on the horizon, that are in the discussion period, because they want us to get outside of beta 30 to 45 days through, which makes total sense from everybody's perspective. And then once that starts to go and it starts to get integrated, sky's the limit when those two things come together. So from an advertising perspective, it's going to be a big deal. There's still going to be freemium play. There's still going to be all that stuff. But that will continue to grow and expand as we go into the future too. And I think it's going to be some of the opportunities are going to be absolutely incredible. So very excited about that. I think we'll see more of that announced to us as we go along. Okay, so there's also a section in the app called Moments. I think I told you about this part, where there's a picture feed that comes inside the app that is taken by people that are in the stadium. And I can't remember whether it's the Associated Press or other people, but they feed this, still shots of different people, players tying their shoes. Maybe it's a unique hat in the stands. Maybe it's, turf coming up off of somebody's foot, or somebody making a diving attempt or getting crushed on a tackle or something. Just a still shot, right? That's fed through this. May not make it anywhere else in the world except through this feed, right? And that feed's going to be a part of the game. And I think it's going to be an integral part of the game. and taking you beyond the game with an experience that very, very few people have a chance to get, certainly not those outside of our app. Right? I think it's going to draw people back to the app. I think it's going to say, hey, did you see this? Did you see this? Did you see this? They'll go, where'd you get that? Oh, I get it in the game feed. It's really cool from this app. Okay. Okay. Oh, let me go back to those tokens real quick. I mentioned something. Here's the deal. Whenever players buy tokens for any game, they do it mostly through the app. Well, almost always through the app. And it goes through the iTunes store or Google Play for the purchase. And what happens is that the iTunes store or Google Play charges a percentage, upwards of 30%, okay, for the actual tokens that they purchase. So in other words, if they buy 10 tokens, $10 worth of tokens, there might be as much as $3 worth of commissions that goes to Apple and not to the company that's selling the tokens. Okay. So what might happen there in our regard is that maybe a player that gets a certain amount of tokens from the iTunes store will get those tokens, but because of that 30% commission that has to be paid or whatever it is to the iTunes store, you and I may see commissionable tokens adjusted to where if somebody gets $10 from the iTunes store, we might only see 7 or 70 tokens worth of commissions paid onto us. I don't know the exact specifics of it. I do know that we will see some kind of an adjustment based on that. And I don't know whether it's going to go to the player side or whether it goes to our side or whichever way it does. I do know this, though, that for the affiliates, there's a real important aspect that you and I got to understand, and that is that if we go to firefan.com and buy our tokens there, which we can do, then we get $10 for 100 tokens and we get commissionable 100 tokens, right? Because there's no additional commissions that have to be paid to Apple or through the Android devices. However, that is really sort of an inside trade secret. So we are not going to be allowed I don't believe anyway. And I don't believe we will be allowed to publicly try to encourage our, players in mass to go away from the App Store purchases over to a firefan.com purchase. But because we are such a small group, relatively small group of affiliates compared to our overall player base, we do have the opportunity to share with one another, say, hey, don't buy them through the App Store. Come over and just get them through firefan.com. You can buy your packages there, and they're full commissionable to everybody involved. And United Games doesn't care because it's the same way for them. They'll adjust it so that it doesn't hurt them in any way. It certainly helps us, but we can't go and publicly make that announcement because Apple or you can imagine, that is a big revenue source for the app stores, and they just don't allow you to do that. They don't allow you to publicize it in your app, so it won't be mentioned inside the app. They don't want you to mention it publicly in any of your marketing campaigns or anything like that, and that's where you and I will fall under as affiliates of United Games. They'll restrict us from doing that in a general public setting, but just so we know, they wanted to make sure that we understood as affiliates, we definitely get the benefit of knowing that as we go and get our packages and tokens, and then some of the players that we reach personally and things like that. So I guess in a perfect world, if you did it, you basically get everybody. But then as they get people who get people who get people, you and I aren't going to have the ability to reach all those people, and they're just going to get their, they're going to get all of their tokens at the App Store. I mean, that's just the way that it's going to work. Okay, it's not a big deal. Anyway, that's going to be pretty cool. Cost to play a game is going to be 12 tokens, right? It's free to answer all the pregame questions and involve yourself in the chat and things like that, okay? That's going to be free, that portion of the game. That's going to be fun. And you're still going to get the feed. You're still going to get those types of things, the ability to communicate and chat back and forth. But if you want the live questions during the game that says, hey, how is this going to end? What's going to be the next deal, right? How many points you want to bet? How many points are you going to accumulate so that you can see how you're doing against other people and things like that, getting it on the scoreboard and stuff by utilizing that live play calling type of atmosphere. That's going to cost you. They've set the game they've set the cost of the game at 12 tokens. Okay. Excuse me. At some point, United Games has reserves the right to change that cost to play. In other words, I don't think anybody would I don't think anybody would jump off the bridge if they decided that in fact the Super Bowl was really a 20 token game as opposed to a 12 token game, right? And I'm not going to go crazy or anything like that, but a little bit here and there. And maybe when the NBA comes out, because that's going to be, it looks like the next game that's going to come out as you watch Natalie's Fire Zone information in the back office. Once that happens, the NBA sounds like it might be the next thing. Maybe the NBA games are only 80 cents. Maybe they're only 8 tokens. Why? Well, because there's a game every night, right? And maybe you watch, one football game a week, but you watch 3 or 4 NBA games a week, right? So all of a sudden they're, doing whatever. I know this for all of us, whatever it is, all we've ever talked about was somebody buying $7 or somebody utilizing $7 worth of tokens every month. Right? We're not talking about, and listen, people are spending, 60 million people play fantasy. They spend on average of almost $500 a year. Okay? $500 a year, 60 million people play fantasy. And you sort of sit there and go, geez, that's crazy. That's a big industry. Yeah, it is. Okay? And here we're talking about, literally, if everybody played $7 a month, you're talking about $85 a year, okay, on average. So we're not really too worried about a game costing 80 cents, $1.20. We're not really. In fact, it engages more people in that. I've said even since we've all found out when the token value came out and said, listen, this is a huge one for all of us. Because you don't want this to be a decision point every time somebody goes to play a game. It's just like, hey, listen, the game's on, I got to play. It's not a big deal. It's 80 cents. It's $1.20. Well, whatever. Okay, no big deal. So anyway, they reserve the right to do all that stuff. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Featured and available next week. Okay, there are going to be some features in the app that will not be available next week. Like they've got a really cool line. I was talking to Ben Eggett, the head technology officer dude, and these guys are really smart, but a lot of fun, and they bring their passion and energy to the project. And they've got a whole series of bromojis, they call them, where you have the ability to sort of just talk smack, right, back and forth with an emoji style, whatever it is. And maybe it's a celebration of a touchdown or who knows, a turnover or whatever. You can use your imagination. They'll be coming soon. You'll be happy when they get here. It'll be a lot of fun. It will be engaging and so forth. But like that won't be available right from the very get-go. Listen, we are at a threshold now, especially because of the last couple of weeks that allowed us to get a couple of the main components into the game, that we are at that threshold for next week that is more than good enough to get started. And like Facebook, like virtually everything else, we will improve. You will see that we will see the game improve. I'm convinced of that. I've met the people. I've talked to them. I understand their business savvy and their understanding of how it is that they play out in this. We will continue to see it grow and grow and grow on all fronts and all facets. And that's why it needs to be full steam ahead right now for everybody involved to be able to take advantage of it. So I'm not going to cover the support of affiliates versus players. Natalie did a new Fire Fan. It's in your back office now. I just watched it before I clicked this on. She did a great job. She explained it to us that there is no such thing as really player support. If somebody has an issue and can't figure out the app, there's no phone number for them to call. There's no customer support. I mean, could you imagine creating customer support for 500 million people or 1 billion downloads, right? It doesn't happen in this industry. Basically, there's, an ability to make a note inside the app and send it in if you'd like. But for the most part, if somebody has an issue, they basically just, take the app off the phone and re-download the next version, right? The newest version. We troubleshoot. We figure it out. It's not that tough. So I think she does a great job of explaining that, so I won't go through that. Other things, emails will be sent out to all pre-registered players next week to let them know when the game is ready for download. We're going to organize the event here. We're going to organize the launch. It is going to come out to a suggestion to all of us that we do the same. We call them, we email them, especially the ones that we've contacted personally. If we have that opportunity to be able to go through and do whatever. I know some of you have signed up a bunch of people at different locations and venues at malls and things like that. And you're like, I don't know how to go and talk to those people. I don't know how to get a hold of them. They're email. Fine, great, whatever. Okay. So do whatever you want. I know the company's going to do everything they can to let everybody know. And if they listen, here's the cool thing. They're in the system. So if all of a sudden 2 weeks from now, they didn't get their email, they didn't get a contact from you, they're wondering what happened to the guy they met at the mall and they signed up on his phone and it was called Fire something. And all of a sudden, they're going to go back. I wonder if that thing is launched yet. And they go in and see the FireFan app there. Okay. And they're like, oh man, this is great. And they download the FireFan app into their phone with their phone number. They're already in our system. They're already in the system waiting there. Right. And they're attached to you. So that's a little bit protective in that regard. But we also don't want a bunch of people out there who don't know that the app is now available at the App Store. Right. So we got to get a hold of them and let them know. The other thing, there is no rewards for points scored in a game. That would be gambling, okay? Some people said, well, what are the point things going to go on? You get tokens, and then you get so many tickets. It's sort of like Chuck E. Cheese, right? Where you go and you play games in Chuck E. Cheese and stuff, and you're not going to get very good pizza or whatever, but you play anyway. It's a lot of fun because people like to play games. And you spend a lot more at the games than you really should, and you get nothing but these tickets. And these tickets you sort of get, and then you can go into the little store and exchange them, and you exchange them for a rubber pencil, and nobody really thinks too much of it. You collect a few more tokens and things like that, and coins. And for the most part, Chuck E. Cheese rewards you whether you're really good at the game or not. They do slant it a little bit that says, hey, if you really get good at this particular game, we'll give you a lot more tickets than maybe the other one or whatever it is. In our game, it's basically the same amount of tickets are going to be given to everybody, whether you're good at the game or not, just so long as you're playing. It's a frequent flyer type reward structure that is equal and available to all of us, regardless of how good we are, whether we were right or wrong. It really is, are you playing? And free version will give you so many tickets. And then if you play, you will earn more, obviously, more tickets from playing a live version of the game, because the live version is going to cost you money, either in you watching advertisements, so the advertiser pays the money, or you pay the money, right? Or the player pays the money. So they get more points if they are a paying player during a live event, but it's not whether they get a bunch of points or not. It's not whether they're good at the game or not. That doesn't have anything to do with anything. That's why they've argued from the very beginning and got legal, representation all over the place. You can imagine how big this issue was for the last 6 months. But this is exactly why, because the game is played this way. It's not a gambling element. There is no gambling equation in this. And so it is a reward structure based on, a frequency of play scenario, whether you're good or bad at it. Doesn't matter. It's the same reward structure, okay? And then you can turn those tokens in for different things. We will see what those are going to be turned into. We don't know yet. They have not released that yet. Really cool stuff, merchandise, things like that. And so there you go. Yes, you can play the game without watching it on TV. Certainly, it's intuitive that way. I mentioned to you last time I talked to you. Amazing graphics, all that kind of stuff. Let me just finish up here because we are almost done and almost out of time, but I do want to talk to you about two things real quick. There is an MVP page listing of celebrities. Listen, I could do a separate hangout on why it is you and I want so many celebrities to endorse this. It's ridiculous. Whether you introduced it to them or not, whether they're in your group or not, it doesn't matter. The celebrity structure around this, the encouragement to play those tokens that people need to then go and reacquire is huge. And it is a driver of the behavior that we want, and that's for people to play. And as affiliates, we can go and join those you guys, we can go and join the game that the celebrity has available, and then we get to invite all the people to play with us with that celebrity, right? And we get a chance to get paid on the tokens played when we invite the players to join in the game that the celebrity's hosting or whatever it might be. When this comes out, I think this is one of the this maybe has to be that area where you got to do it and then go, oh, that's what it means. Because I can explain it to you, and then I think you'll say, oh, I get it, I think. And then you'll wait and say, I don't really get that about the tokens played and about the celebrities and how they all put it. We just want as many celebrities in this game as you can because they're going to chew up tokens like crazy. They're going to make people play. So are you and I, right? We're going to engage a bunch of people, but not like others who have social reach. I mean, that's why this platform is so unique, so powerful, and why I'm telling you, it's a big deal. You need to treat it like one of a multi-million-dollar sports promotion business. That's what you have your hands on, because you do. We all do. Okay. Players, all players will be attached to affiliates worldwide. Yes, they are assigning them through the algorithm. I'm trying to tell everybody on my team that I've ever introduced this to, don't get too excited about getting a player or getting orphan players assigned to you. If it happens, say thank you and you know, put the dimes and nickels and dollars in your pocket, but don't go into it thinking that way, because I think that's just a defeatist idea. Okay. Plus, you don't know how they're going to do how they're going to assign it, and they're not going to tell us how they're going to assign it, because I know this, that if they tell us how it's going to be assigned, there will be people out there working a system to try to be able to get in the way of getting more people assigned to them. I mean, it's ridiculous. So here's the idea. I don't know how that's going to all play out, and I don't need any of them, and either do you really. You've got all the opportunities that are in front of you. Will it happen? I'm absolutely certain that it will. And will it be pretty cool? Yes, it will be really cool, and that's and you will be happy, and I will be happy. I just don't want you to go into it thinking that's how you're going to make your money. I mean, that they've told us from the very start that they're not going to give charity to anybody, and if you're not working, you're not going to get any benefits. If you're out there playing and sharing and actively participating and doing the things that you see this thing a little bit bigger than most, then you know, and you're going to go and get this done, then all of us will be treated with some real nice rewards from a number of people that are going to sign up just because of the splash that this is going to make as we go into the next 18, 24 months, right? That's the idea. So, okay. And then unlocking the zone requirements should be revealed, or will be revealed, in the next few days prior to the games actually getting here and all that stuff. We will have all the knowledge that we will have from Natalie, and she will share that with us. So that is that for tonight. Let me share this with you right now while you're all still here, because I don't think anybody's left, or my screen is frozen completely and everybody's left and I just don't know, which is just fine. So it's not a big deal. I've talked to myself for a lot longer than this, and have not tuned myself out either. So there you go. I can outlast most all of you. All right, let me talk to you about three things. Here's what's happened. Over the last couple of days, I've started to notice. You know, I talked to you about having your own business and what's big. And I thought, well, how in the world? I've never done this before. Like, this is my first stint at being a promoter. I'm a networker. I'm a recruiter. For the most part, that's what I do. I can talk the talk and walk the walk about how do you build an organization of people who want to go out and make a better situation for themselves and their families by starting a business on the side of what they do for a living. You can tell how fast I can talk about that I've talked about it all the time ad nauseum. All right. So now as a promoter, I've got to put a little different hat on. I got to start thinking a little differently. You and I got to think a little differently. And how is it that I can get my code in front of as many people as possible? Now, a couple of ideas. I don't really know that, at least I haven't been able to figure it out. I'm not sure that social media and email campaigns and different things like that are going to bring me a bazillion customers or players. I mean, I don't know. I don't have that kind of following, right? I don't have that much influence or whatever. And I just don't think it's that easy. I do know this, that virtually 8 out of 10 people that I talk to personally have signed up. I mean, for the most part, I just, let them know and say, hey, listen, there's an app coming that is really cool. It's going to allow you to play live interactively with your favorite sports team. It's coming out. Thanksgiving Day is going to be the first day to play. I'd love to get you on the list to let you know that the app is coming. It's totally free. And all you have to do is give me your name, email, and phone number right here, and that will get you in the system. Would you like to do that? 8 out of 10 people, there's just been a couple of people have said, and I'm just being nice because I've heard other people say you don't get everybody. I haven't missed too many, okay? And I don't know. So whatever it is, I've missed a lot on social media stuff and things. I haven't really been able to create anything from that. And emails that I've sent out to people, it's a little crushing, but they haven't responded to me. So I needed to call them and talk to them personally. So I know if I can get in front of people. So the goal is, okay, well, last couple weeks ago, I had John Andrews on here, and we had talked about going to the mall. John was just phenomenal about going to the mall, walking up to people and say, hey, can I take a minute? I know we've got other people that have done some great things, and I can do that. I've got a number of people at the mall and Sam's Club. I've told you about my different exploits and things. And I thought, okay, well, here's the deal. Here's the deal. How am I going to get in front? Maybe I can get in front of more people. Like, what if they came to see me? Or what if there was a continual stream of people that I could get in front of instead of running around trying to find them and get a convenient time for them? Maybe I could set up somewhere where they could come past me. So here's what happened to me in the last couple of days. Honest to God, it was just today's Wednesday night. This happened to me over the weekend. Made a couple calls yesterday, and I've got 3 appointments, okay? 2 tomorrow and 1 on Friday morning. And this is what they're for, okay? And just an idea. You guys can take this for what it's worth. But here's what I did. I went to the gas station over the week, one of that's just right down from my house down here. And they have balloons that they're doing right now for Children's Hospital. So they go in, I pay my bill or swipe my card or whatever it is. When I go in and they say, would you like to buy a balloon for Children's Hospital? It's $1. And I say, absolutely. Absolutely, I would. That'd be great. And as I'm writing my name, I usually write one of my kids' names on the balloon so that they can stick it up on the wall to show everybody how many balloons they do, right? And how much money they're raising for the Children's Hospital. And I asked the gal, I said, hey, can I just ask you a question? How many people buy balloons here? How much do you guys raise for Children's Hospital? Say in a day, right? She goes, oh, a busy day would be, $150 to $200. 150 to 200 balloons. And I said, okay. I said, that's pretty cool. And I go, does everybody buy balloons? She goes, oh, no. She goes, a number of people do, but a pretty small percentage, actually. And I'm sort of taken back to that because I'm always buying balloons and wreaths and, popcorn that I know is not going to taste very good because people come and get it from me. I don't know if I have sucker written across my forehead or whatever it is, but it just feels good to do that. I can't say no to people. So that's the way we do that. And I thought to myself, I got back in my truck and I thought, what's really cool? They support Children's Hospital. They do about $150 a day. And I thought to myself, I wonder if I could get in contact with the manager and have him allow me to put up a little table inside or right in the corner. Or actually, it's supposed to be pretty nice this weekend. We might be able to do it outside. And to be able to say, listen, for every person that signs up on the app, if I told them, hey, listen, if I wouldn't have my Fire Fan shirt on or United Games shirt on, and I basically sat there and said, listen, there's an app coming out. It's going to come out this next week, and we're promoting it today. Just want to let you know about it. If you'll download it here, we'll take 50 cents and we'll donate it to Children's Hospital for you. And I'm thinking I could get, if there's a bunch of people there, I'm thinking I can get a bunch of those people to be able to sit there and say, yes, if the store would allow me to do that. So I called the manager and I said, I'd like to have a chance to be able to just stop by and find out if that would be an interest to you. I've got something that I'd like to share with you. So I'm going to go to him and say, listen, here's what I'll do. You make $150 to $200 every day by people buying balloons. You give that money to Children's Hospital. Here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to promote this app. It's launching next week. We're only going to have one time as a launch. So it's going to be launch month here in November and December. And it's coming out for the final remainder of the National Football League season. And I'd like to tell everybody here, and anybody that signs up, it's free for them to get. We won't be real pushy or intrusive or anything. But for every person that signs up, I'll give you 50 cents up to $500, okay, for Children's Hospital. I'm going to see how that works. Would I give $500 for 1,000 players? Yeah. Would you? I think you would. So now listen, I don't know if I can get 1,000 players. I don't know if he'll even let me be there. Okay, but I'm going to ask why, because I'm a professional promoter and I've got something to promote, and I want to see if I can promote it. Because if I could get in front of those people that are pumping gas, I know I could get them to. I won't do it at the pump. I'll need to do it inside just in case a spark flies, right? So just the way it works. Anyway, that's one idea. So I'm going to try that. Thinking outside the box, right? Did the same thing in the grocery store. I went into the grocery store and listen, here's what they said. They said at the end, they this was on Sunday actually. And I noticed how many people were walking around in Green Bay Packer get-ups at the grocery store. It was unbelievable. The place was packed. There probably had to be, I bet they have 1,000 people go through that store in a 3-hour time frame from 8 to 11 before the game in the morning. At least 1,000 people, I bet, go through the store. And most of them have Green Bay Packer jerseys on from where I'm from. Okay, so I'm like, this would be a great place to be able to give away the app. So I was talking to the gal who checked me out. She checks me out on Sunday, and she said, hey, would you like to round up for the veterans for the Freedom Flights? Here in Milwaukee, we send a bunch of veterans down to Washington, D.C. for the Freedom Flights to see the wall. And different local stores and stations and things like that, organizations, they will raise money for those veteran flights. And I said, absolutely. Yeah, round up for me. And I said, by the way, how much do you make in a day? She goes, well, we don't do it for a day. We do it for a week at a time prior to that happening. But she said, we probably do, we have done $1,500 to $2,000 donations to the organization after a week's time. So I said, a couple $100 a day. She goes, yeah. And I said, and now this was after the gas station, so I had a little bit more thought in my mind. I said, who's the manager here that I could talk to? I've got an idea that may be able to help out with the Freedom Flights. So she gave me Dan's name, and I contacted Dan on Monday. I said, Dan, I think I got an idea that I would like to run past you, if you have any time, about how you might be able to raise an extra $500 to $1,000 for the Freedom Flights the next time this week that you're running them. And he said, yeah, come on in. Thursday would be great. He said, we run our Freedom Flights all the way through actually December 1st. And I said, well, that would coincide perfectly with what I'm thinking. So maybe we get together. And tomorrow I've got a meeting with Dan to see if I can go with my Fire Fan shirt on or my United Games shirt on to see if I can walk to the people that have their Packers shirts on and sit there and go, hey, you hear about the new app that allows you to play with the Packers live and in real time? And every time you download, if you would just sign up for a preload or get the app today, we will put a check mark on this box and we will give 50 cents to the Freedom Flight for you. Will I pay $500 for 1,000 players? Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know. And then my last contact that's an idea. And I wish I had answers to how these things went so that you knew whether they were worth your time and effort. But I don't. That's the deal. So anyway, the last one is the Health Club. They have different organizations, different things that they support. Certainly the Special Olympics is one of them. And I've got a meeting tomorrow with them to be able to do basically the same thing on a Saturday. Either this Saturday or next Saturday with a grand opening type of a theme that says, hey, just here to promote the new app that's coming out in the App Store, just letting everybody know about it. If you'd like to download today, you make a special 50-cent donation to the Special Olympics of Wisconsin. That's how I'm going to do it. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to see if I can't get my code in front of a bunch of people. And I don't know if it'll work or not. And I don't even know if they'll let me go there, or if I'll mess it up on my conversations with them. But I'm just telling you right now, that's what I'm doing. So if you want to do something the same way and then report back to me, I'll certainly report back to you on how it is I'm doing. Good, bad, or indifferent, you know that I will report it and probably report a screw-up or two along the way. But that's what it's all about. Anyway, that's all I got tonight. And we've been here for an hour, and all of you have stuck around. It's just been crazy great. So I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Those of you who watch this via replay, great stuff. I'll take the next 5 minutes just to look at this real quick. If any of you need to go ahead. But I've got a series of questions here, but I think I probably got most of them. But let me just do a little look away from the screen and see if I have any kind of deal. All right, it would be a dumb question. There's no dumb questions, but is anyone using the back office to invite players? I don't know that, Lisa and John, I don't know if anybody's using the back office to invite players anymore. I don't think, I'm not certainly, since the Fire Fan came out, I'm using just that link, right, to be able to do that. So I'm not sending out the official invitation at all through that back office piece? Maybe somebody else knows. I've heard no discussion about battery life. Hey, this is a good one, Randy. Thanks, man. The average phone make it through 3 to 4 hours. Yeah, the average phone makes it quite a bit, but the battery usage drawn from the game, they call these things data packets, and they're very small, and they design the game with that in mind, and understanding that there is a data, a speed element, an element around the battery and things like that the game is very user friendly, even in the technical side of things. So that part won't be an issue, I don't believe. So anyway, would you at this point still sign up? Hang on a second. Nonprofit information is coming. I believe it's coming this week. We'll hear more about it. You can see them start to ramp that stuff up. They talk about K through 12 being a part of UGF and need to do that, certainly. But then there are other things that are coming with regards to the nonprofit piece, and to be able to organize that and make sure that we're all understanding of it. I believe it's coming very, very soon. I don't have any more than that. I just know that they are prepared to allow us to go and get that started again. So pretty cool stuff. People who pre-registered get free tokens for registering. Will people who use our code after launch receive incentives after the launch? Yes, free tokens, yes. So everybody that pre-registers, they will get free tokens. Once the app gets here next week, anybody that downloads the game will also get free tokens if they use a promo code or a player reward code. If they don't use one, then they don't get the free tokens. Okay, but everybody will. Even if I get my neighbor and then he gets somebody who gets somebody who gets somebody, right? That's all going to be a free token situation. And so they're going to run those really from the start for a period of time. And have that available. So it's going to be really pretty cool. And then you and I have tokens that we can purchase that we can go and give away to other people. And by the way, I believe we'll be able to purchase those token packages before we're charged on our credit card December 1st. So let's say we get the app next week. I think right there I'll be able to get if I want 1,000 tokens, I think right there I'll be able to buy my 1,000 tokens. Okay. I think that the app will allow me to do that, I believe. Okay. Night, you guys. See you later. I think there's only a couple more questions. How play get notified when the app's launch? Cheryl, they're going to get notified by email. And I don't think they're going to get notified by text, but they might. But they will get notified by the email they registered with, and also by you and I, and by, hey, the app is here. So all of us making noise. So thanks, Pat. Great ideas. Report back. All right. We'll do that. Thanks, you guys. Cool. Good. I've spent the time that I needed to with you. Thank you very much. I got through all the questions and everything for the most part. I think if there's anything else, just email me. Let me know. Everybody have a great night. Think about ways to be able to get your code in front of new people, because that is going to be the key. Go home and do a little bit of math. Figure out if you got 1,000 players. If you went out over the next 2 years and got 1,000 players, one a day, okay? And then you started to add up some more, and some other people just started to share with other people, and that started to cascade down. What could that mean for you at $7 a month and the average person going out and doing some things? Even if, you guys, you don't even have to do that. Even if 30% of the people spent $7 a month, when you start to look at the multiplier in this thing, it's ridiculous opportunity. It's bigger than you think it is. Okay, so go for that. Have some fun. And man, all right, I'll let you know if Friday night we reconvene with some people that made it over to Nashville or to Lexington or where the heck they are, getting in front of Nadalin and those guys. So with that, all right, hope tonight helped. Talk to you all soon. Let's go get them. Game on.